So I call him the commander in news. Of course, anywhere he gets to, we all hold back for him. Stephen Enti is here and he's doing it like no other. Early on, you've had the opportunity to enjoy some political stories. We've talked about health. You are definitely going to get some international news when he comes back. But right now, I'm here to do my game. We're talking about business and my name is Kweku Timin. Let's get some details now. The European Union is to provide Ghana 31.6 million euros to create jobs and also provide technical vocational training to the youth across the country. Now, part of the money will be used to renovate and refurbish the Labour Department to enable it execute its mandate effectively. Last year, the European Union provided 190 million euros to support Ghana's economy. 163 million euros out of the amount was used to support the 2016 budget. Currently, the EU has secured another funding of 31.6 million euros to create jobs in the country. Part of the amount is to renovate the Labour Department under the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations. Again, the amount would also be used to assist small and medium-scale enterprises. EU Ambassador to Ghana, William Hanna, underscored the need to reduce unemployment in the country.
So we're looking at inclusive growth by strengthening social protection and employment, and particularly focusing on the needs of the most vulnerable groups, generating decent job opportunities, decent work. I think the ILO is with us. We support that concept of decent work, and particularly focusing on the youth, on the young people of Ghana.
Employment and Labour Relations Minister Haruna Idrisu emphasized the need to develop skills of the youth to meet the job market demands.
We would need a synergy which strengthens the capacity of the Labour Department in terms of technical capacity, improving the skills of its personnel, and they've been deployed properly as public employment centers across the country. I mean, if Ghanaian youth want to be able to access jobs, they should have some comfort and leisure in walking into a decent office of the Labour Department to find out what vacancies exist where and what are the matching skills needed in order to be able to do the jobs.
He again urged the EU to engage key stakeholders on issues on unemployment.
The Ministry of Employment and Labour would give you absolute support, access to every facility in order that you would get to do the needs assessment for us. Even before the assessment, I can share with you that they have challenges in terms of capacity, challenges in terms of personnel. I just recently discussed with the Minister of Finance that we may even be able to review how we can get them better funded.
Now I'll move away from the Labour front, and here we're still talking about creating little opportunities for Ghanaians. Now, as the political fever approaches, we're heading towards November 7 election year. Some owners of printing houses in the country, specifically Accra Newtown, they've cautioned political parties to desist from printing their paraphernalia abroad. Now, they contend Ghana will lose much foreign exchange if government does not introduce stringent measures to ban the importation of printed paraphernalia. With barely 10 months to the November polls, printing press operators in the country tell TV3 Business the season in the past presented them with a lot of business opportunities. However, the story seems much different ahead of the 2016 polls. It is almost midday at Accra Newtown, where most printing press owners operate. They tell TV3 Business their cost of operation is pushing them out of business.
Printing a lot of jobs here will actually create jobs for people. It will increase revenue and everything. But then if you have a job and you take it to China, how do we employ people?
The production outside is cheaper for the people, you see. It is all because we have a lot of taxes poured on us. You understand? There are a lot of taxes, especially at the port, and here right now, electricity. You understand? Those who buy from us to go and print, they are not being able to do it. They are not able to do it because right now if you move to the press houses, everywhere is quiet.
Several young men who hitherto were gainfully employed in the printing business have now been thrown out of job. They told the news team the consequences of engaging foreigners in printing party paraphernalia will have a negative implication on the Ghanaian economy.
How do I employ more people which I can't pay them? At the end of the month, your ECG, everything is up. And you have workers to pay them, you have materials to buy, and there's no job. So I don't know, there will be need for you to sack some people out and you maintain your relationship with people.
Exchanging cities into dollars or euro or pounds to go and print in China or US or UK, it means that you are depriving the youth of employment. You understand? It will be better to help us to also help the people. Once everybody is fine, everybody be smiling.
All right, so if you're a politician and you're thinking about printing your paraphernalia or other items abroad and come to rule Ghanaians, then you might want to rethink again. Now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has launched a new strategy document to provide the framework to sustain women participation in the agricultural business. The Gender Agricultural Development Strategy has 9 objectives and sub-strategies to address the implementation gaps identified in the first document.
About 62% of women in Africa are actively involved in agriculture. About 90% of women in rural areas in Ghana are also linked to the sector. However, inequitable delivery of agricultural services, access to inputs, land rights and tenure systems have inhibited active participation of women in the sector. The sector has recorded a decrease in the number of women involved in the last 3 years, from 9,298 in 2012 to 8,339 in 2013. It declined further to 6,478 in 2014. Launching the Gender Agricultural Development Strategy GAT2 in Accra, the Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture in charge of livestock, Dr. Hannah Bisiu, said the document will address the involvement deficit.
This decrease in reaching out in the number of women for agricultural technologies and innovations is worrying. However, the launch of the Gender and Agriculture Development Strategy 2 today will take a serious look at why the decrease since 2012 in accordance with policies such as the revised National Gender Policy, which was recently launched.
Various speakers at the launch wanted the ministry to ensure the document is effectively implemented. The Deputy Director of the Women in Agric Development Directorate, Paulina Ade, said the GAT2 highlights lessons learned in GAT1 to reduce gender inequalities in agricultural development.
The revised GAS has been couched to promote equity among others, and it articulates the mode of implementation consistent with a good policy or strategy. It has an embedded action plan which has also been costed.
The GATS2 seeks to correct the inefficiencies of GATS1 and enhance equitable distribution of agricultural resources.